in the driver's seat. Kone put them there, releases Lorea. It's been methodical tonight from the Canucks, trying to play it through for David to no avail. Drops to Danny Pereira and dribbles himself into all kinds of trouble. David now, Nelson. Goalside's expert defending at the back for Venezuela. Well done by Ferraresi. Sometimes they say when you go down a man, it might add a little fuel to the fire and inspire. It might be the positive that Venezuela are looking to take. You see Jesse Marsh, the 52-year-old, originally from Wisconsin. That blue-collar ethos is brought north of the border. Here's Waterman. David wide, Buchanan. That's our scoreline. Ismael Kone with his 4th goal for his country. We've seen more ebb than flow, that is for sure, throughout the duration of this one. Nothing that, Stu?
There's a little bit there. I mean, it's a foul. And that's the way the game has gone. Any type of attacking momentum we've seen. Venezuela making fouls, Canada making fouls, misplaced passes. Maybe it shapes up, though, now for the last 30 minutes here with Canada man up an opportunity. And they work a lot on set pieces. So look for little moments where they try different things.
That one to the far post, and the referee spots the infringement. Down goes Cáceres under the challenge with Kone. Free kick for Farinhas and company. They get set to make some changes as well. Let's see what's on the cards here for Venezuela. Touchback for Ferraresi. Haven't seen that expansive football. Saw Venezuela raise some eyebrows in qualification. Once again, the tackle starting to come in, and this time, straight red comes out.
Wow. I mean, we saw the red card, first of all, for Venezuela with David Martinez, and now we're getting our 2nd red card of the game. Rubiel Vasquez, referee, has had to go to the book. And this happens sometimes when things start to build a little bit and the tension's going on and boiling underneath the surface, and it just feels completely unnecessary from a Canadian perspective. And they're all arguing right now with Rubiel Vasquez, especially more specifically the captain, and this is what happens now. The referee says, I'm only talking to the captain.
Well, here's what happened. Eustachio is already carrying the booking. Kone, the guilty culprit here, came in a little reckless, and referee goes straight to the back pocket here. And this is really interesting. It's reminiscent of what we saw for Canada when we saw Ali Ahmed sent off early on in that first half against Ecuador. So Kone, in similar vein and similar circumstances, once again rearing their ugly head. Venezuela was down to 10 men. And likewise Canada just 4 minutes later, and it's straight red for Ismael Kone. So the bitter with the sweet, the goal scorer off, and both teams down a man. Straight red for Canada's number 8. Eustachio is the only one carrying a yellow card for Canada. The referee straight to that back pocket, and no doubt about it.
Yeah, in the replay, it looks more like the shoulder. I don't know if the referee initially thought that he got him with the studs up and made it the really egregious contact there because his leg was extended. So I do think that's a little harsh for a straight red.
So we'll see Jose Hernandez, 29-year-old winger, plays his club ball in Caracas, his native country. Well, his club manager is the manager tonight, Ariste Huieta, as well as Jesus Ramirez. So some changes in the attack. And Jacob Schaffelberg getting a chance to run out tonight. Wasn't part of the setup in Toronto last week. Nelson off, and with Kyle Larin now returning to Feyenoord, as you mentioned, with a slight injury. Schaffelberg and a chance to join up with the side here in South Florida. Nashville SC man. Remember, he scored that goal in that Copa America quarterfinal against Venezuela in the summer of 2024. And we'll also see the change bringing out Mathieu Chouanière, the Quebecois, getting a run out as well. Some changes in wide areas in the center of midfield. Ramirez confirmation that he has replaced Kelsey at the number 9. He didn't have much to stew on. Chavez coming on for Mendoza in that wide area. So change of foot, and perhaps it'll take a turn for the positive.
You know, both teams on a man down now, so 10v10, which actually evens things out for Venezuela to be able to attack a little bit more now. The fact that they don't have the one-man disadvantage and they have to sit a little bit deeper and they have to try to find moments to counterattack. So we'll see how this shakes out, especially formation-wise now with Kone going out of the game. It might be more of a 4-4-1 for Canada. We'll see in Jesse Marsh as he looks on.
Ever studious. Jesse Marsh with his intense focus. Schaffelberg with his first touch. He's done really well to get past Kova. And to link up with Lorea. These two with a good understanding on the left-hand side of that Canadian attack. Schaffelberg gets a run out for the 31st time in a Canada shirt. Perhaps one of those depth pieces that Jesse Marsh can get a closer look at as he eyes up his squad in North America in 7 months' time.
He's been fairly prolific for Canada, 6 goals and now 31 appearances. And he's a player that has a little bit of a change of pace and is good on the dribble, can be creative. I don't know in this current Canadian setup if there's room for him in the starting lineup, but he is definitely a player that is a meaningful contributor and a part of that squad.
Here's Dani Pereira for Venezuela, links up with Segovia. That's better play. Cáceres on the switch now. Venezuela playing more expansive behind the likes of Milani. Trying to liven up Chase Stadium here. It's been rather listless. Still plenty of time to change the complexion of things with both of these two down a man.
And it is Canada indeed in a 4-4-1 formation here now. Jonathan David, the lone striker.
There's Chouanière with his first touch. Former CF Montreal man releasing Schaffelberg. Such a distinct MLS flavor throughout both of these two sides. Referee Rubio Vasquez getting more involved as this game wears on. Segovia muscled off by Lorea. Referee's assistant awarding the throw-in. The quality's been in short supply, but temperament has not, one could say. So Kone straight red, but before that, the 23rd with the game's only goal. Here's Dani Pereira wheeling his way through. As you've seen time and time again in the Verde and black midfield for Austin FC. Good coverage at the back, pulled all the way in. Kova trying to lift it forward. Canada in a slight bit of disarray back there. Knocked on by Cáceres and flicked back to Crippa. Nothing too testing.
Yeah, Canada just seemed fairly content, especially after the red card now to be. This game is 1-0. We've got the advantage. Can we get the win? Can we not have any casualties here now and any further injuries, any red cards?
Ramirez on the turn now. It's played forward for Pereira. Segovia. Better now as Kova lifts it in. There's an uptick in the Venezuela approach right now. Off of Waterman. And it'll be the second quarter of the evening for Vino Tito. A wonderful chance to draw level And a goal which they've rarely threatened. Ramirez got his first of his career against Australia last week. Looking to latch on to Segovia's corner to that far post. Strong header to the far post. And it was Teo Quintero who rose above all others, but couldn't steer it towards the target.
And the best chance in the game for Venezuela, and it comes off a set piece. Good delivery from Segovia, the internet Miami man, and Quintero rising really well at the back post. Good timing of his jump to beat Chouanier, and then just misdirects it just past that far post. But best look of the game for Venezuela, and a bit of pressure now. They feel like the team that's trying to push this game a little bit and trying to get something out of it, and that's not going to be a foul on Schaffelberg. So here come Venezuela once again.
Schaffelberg very slow to get up on that coming together with Kova. The referee initially had waved play on. Schaffelberg continues to plead his case. The 25-year-old scored 4 times this year, involved in 7 for Nashville. Little extracurriculars, as they say. What's that, the Venezuelan love tap? Cáceres.
Just a little hip check.
Cáceres dropping in between those two central defenders. Plenty more ground to cover here without that man. An extra man now, just the 10 for each. Segovia, supported by Pereira. Will spray it wide to the left-hand side. This is better football. Milani, and just his second appearance. An Italian-born fullback. He plays his football on Serie B side Avellino in Italy. Lovely run from Ferraresi, and Ferraresi thinks about it, slithers it through. Segovia pokes it forward. Chavez trying to dig in. It's still on for Venezuela as it drops for Kova, who whips the cross. Second ball presents itself. It's belted in that time. Right. Milani.
Right, good spell of pressure, and you can feel the crowd, the Venezuelan fans starting to get into the game a little bit. And they're playing with some intensity now. Right? It made the game a little bit better, too. Can Canada match this intensity as well and find their way through this wave of momentum to get a little bit into the game? They can't even find a way out that first pass out of transition to try to get a counterattack.
The sparse crowd in full throat and getting into it. Here's Kova. He's had some positive moments. The combative Richie Larea wins possession back for Canada. Schaffelberg. Match that's crying out for an increase in tempo. More danger. Lovely work from Chavez, who feels the touch from Chouanier. Free kick, and it will be the Canadian substitute. And he becomes the second man yellow carded for the Canadians. Chouanier, long-time servant for CF Montreal, applying his trade at LAFC. The guilty party here.
Yeah, just a little bit of a contact to the face is cutting back and makes the foul, and an opportunity now for a set piece here from Venezuela to try to build some more. They had the great little delivery on the last set piece.
They threatened Crepeau once before. Can they do it again? Jones and company look to remain vigilant. That one just lashed, and perhaps over audacious is the way you can characterize that from a man, Jose Hernandez, who's very much on form at the club level, scoring 5 goals in Venezuela domestic league play in 7 appearances. It's got to be better, though. Perhaps an opportunity squandered. Think of Venezuela, and the first name that comes to mind, Solomon Rondon, Josep Martinez, Major League Soccer, Jefferson Savarino, as well as Jefferson Soltero, long-time stalwart, Tomas Rincon, John Murillo, as well as the goalkeeper Rafa Romo. Not part of the setup this time around, trying to bleed in this new breed of Venezuelan players. They look to get over that final hurdle and qualify for a World Cup, which will have to wait until 4 years' time. Ferraresi going direct now, and out comes Crepeau, who's been a little busier here in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Chouanier. No real urgency from Canada. And they work their way well wide. Chouanier has the support. Tigers holding things down at right fullback as Crepeau will just spray it forward. A swing and a miss that time from Kova, and picked up by Schaffelberg. What can he conjure up?
Good possession there to get it back. A little bit of passing now from Canada, but the pressure's still coming from Venezuela. Good looking ball, trying to find Buchanan.
Movement from Buchanan coming on the interior, drifting more central. And it's got that injection of liveliness, and we'll see an injection of substitutes as well. And it will be Canada making some changes. Jonathan Osorio, Mr. Toronto FC, will come on to replace Tejan Buchanan. We'll also see Nathan Saliba now playing his club football at Anderlecht, and the Quebecois will get a chance to get a run out for the final 16.5 minutes in the center of the park. Eustaquio really not exerting the type of influence we've seen from him in recent outings.
Yeah, he had some moments, Eustaquio, some of the set-piece deliveries, but not normally the type of game for a player like him who's playing in the Champions League, plays for Porto, has a lot of control of the game, plays the tempo. Quieter night for him.
So Osorio coming into a central role, perhaps a little bit of a change in the midfield and a rethink. And Promise David has been making some headlines, a player that's...
Yeah, he had a bit of a Gold Cup as well. He looked really talented and scored a couple of goals in their opening game, and looked, you know, he can be in the mix at that striker position, especially when you consider Kyle Larin has been out of favor completely, and he's not been scoring goals. He made the move to Feyenoord. He picks up an injury.
Those in the Canadian media circles crying out for Promise David, wanting him to get some minutes. Here's his chance. Big 6'5" striker, kind of in that Kyle Larin mold. Big, strong, mobile. Playing his football in Belgium with Union Saint-Gilloise. Was a part of the team that featured against Ecuador last week, and yet another man down. Appears it might be Joel Waterman. How much you want to see? We've already lost one to injury, and I'll tell you what, it's been more stop than start, we could say, to put it mildly. Still a quarter of an hour left in this one. Rubio Vasquez adjudging matters. And is Waterman. He had to come on for Cornelius in the first half, and coming up the worst for wear, one could say. Had that mid-season trade from Montreal to the Chicago Fire. Big part of the setup for Greg Berhalter in their resurrection. They're pushing everyone forward now. Canada wanting that insurance goal to put it to bed and beyond doubt. Cast their horizons towards 2026. Crepeau gives it a ride, sends it forward over the head of Promise David. Segovia can't control that. Kova losing out. David yanked from behind. Referee waves play on, and Venezuela reclaim it. They could use a good spell right about now. Milani. At their best when they're playing at a quicker tempo, Stu.
And Canada just really haven't been able to get a hold of the ball the way they did in the first half, where they controlled the game. That's a good tackle from Schaffelberg, and then Promise David can't beat his man to the ball. Maybe they're going to pick up the second ball here. Chouanier, and another turnover for Canada.
A little more bite to the game. Chouanier wins it back. Plenty of room to operate. Chouanier, this one takes a deflection. And I tell you what, Fariñas had to keep his concentration. His predecessor victimized by that deflection in the first half. Not so this time around. Not a lot to do back there for Uliker Fariñez, the 27-year-old, now on his 43rd time playing his club ball with Águilas Doradas in Colombia. Here's Segovia. Pereira. Short, intricate passing between he and Segovia, just trying to dislodge this Canadian midfield. The short, wide switch just bounces over the outstretched foot of Adrian Kova. Players from Venezuela in all corners of the world. You think of Kova in Bulgaria, Brazil, Ecuador, Portugal, Belgium, and of course many in Major League Soccer. Through from Segovia, well closed down, and Lorea with a little bit of a
bite. He's just signaling to Schaffelberg, come on, give me an overlapping run. That means he can drive inside now.
And here comes Lorea, and here come Canada, looking to take another bite out of Venezuela. It's still on now. This time for Saliba. Chouanier. Changes in the center of the park. Will it have the desired effect? Osorio. He's drifted out wide to the right. Saliba hits it first time. It's better movement from Canada, who trying to liven up. And yet another man down. Good times there for Milani. Making just his third appearance, and that will hasten perhaps another double switch for Fernando Aristeguieta. Milani came on at halftime for Luis Balbo, who is making his debut in that win against Australia on Friday night in Houston. His day may be cut short in similar vein. Had some positive moments. So temporarily, Venezuela now down to 9. So confirmation of the change. It does appear that Kova has come off, and he will be replaced by Ronald Hernandez, who's one of those holdovers from the World Cup qualification campaign. And Hernandez coming on for his 36th cap. Long-time servant since 2022 for Atlanta United. So there's confirmation of the changes. Changes at the back and wholesale changes tonight. Quebera Lamadrid, the winger, plays for Deportivo A La Coruña in the north of Spain, getting a run out. Changes too, coming in wide areas, perhaps.
They're trying to freshen it up a little bit. Last little push here for Venezuela to try to get something from this game. They have the bigger crowd support. You can hear the cheering, and they start to come to life. They brought the game to life a little bit with some intensity, so now can they find a way to get a goal through? Segovia is still at the heart of that. He's still battling away, as we've mentioned, in his home stadium where he plays for Inter Miami.
Perhaps just one eye on the domestic scene in the playoffs is he and Leo Messi are in the thick of the fights as we get into the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Yep, Cincinnati.
And indeed, it is tasty. Man who's been through many MLS wars himself. Jesse Marsh, now in his 27th game in charge. Hunting for victory number 12. He's taking the reins in May of 2024. First things first, however, Canada had to deal with this free kick sent in by Chavez, and the header won once again, proving to be problematic, but well taken, you'd have to say, by Jesus Ramirez. I think coach is nearly playing with a full deck in terms of substitutions. Space for Segura, plays early, it's on now. Promise David tucks it away, easy as you like. And David with his third goal for his country, and the Canadian sub may make it game, set, and match. 2-0 to Canada.
Oh, it's a great run you're going to see from Seager here from deep. He recognizes that the back line's a little bit high. He beats the offside trap and then has the awareness to play the ball. Look at his starting position right now. He sees where the Venezuelan defense is and everybody's stepping in. Kova steps in, so he makes that run in behind. So much time and space, but that ball is a beauty. Just puts it into the path of Promise David. First touch, able to settle, and then the big man, 24 years old, is not going to miss from there. Had so much time to think about it. Takes the ball across his feet and then rolls the ball into the corner. Great finish from David. And talk about seizing your opportunity. Oluwaseyi started up front. Jonathan David alongside him. Promise David coming off the bench. Kyle Larin had gone back, and he gets a chance here in the second half and adds another goal to his tally.
Just minutes after coming on as a sub, just his 8th appearance. He's been in great form. Domestic club play, scoring a half a dozen in 17 appearances in the Jupiter League after winning the league title back in June in 2024-25. So, man, he's got the confidence. Good hold-up play from him. Brings an extra dimension, and you can just hear the social media. You can hear the conversation. Should we see more of Promise David and the struggles for Tani Oluwaseyi continue in front of goal?
Well, that's how you change the conversation right there.
Perhaps something to think about here over the winter for Jesse Marsh.
Look, international soccer is truly next man up, and if you're not scoring especially at the striker position, where if you have competition for places, ideally that's what you want as a coach, and you want people pushing each other, and you roll with the hot hand. So if Oluwaseyi is getting chances and not scoring, doesn't matter that he's playing in La Liga and playing for Villarreal. It's a bad giveaway there from Fariñas.
And it opens up now on the turn. Saliba has the support. Lovely skill from Schwanier. Excellent control. And now it's about seeing it out. Perhaps the clean sheet, which has been a staple of Canada under Jesse Marsh. Osorio. Sigur, the two-man game. Doesn't quite come off, but possession kept on. Here comes Lorea. Canada hunting for a third, which would surely kill off the opposition, and any flicker of a comeback. Something we've seen time and time again. A recurring theme is the physical element, or as they would say, the dark arts. Once again, revealing themselves. Richie Laurent, is he the undroppable fullback? Been a permanent fixture since the injury to Alphonso Davies earlier. Completely different player, however. Brings a different dimension. 5 minutes to go.
This is the last chance here for Venezuela to get anything out of this. But I think generally over the course of the game, Canada deserved the team with the 2-goal advantage. And they've had the deeper bench. You can see their subs that have come off the bench have had more of an impact. And it's nicer when you can bring players like Schaffelberg on and Promise David. So we're going to see another yellow card from Rubiel Vasquez.
Chavez, who came on as a second-half substitute. John Martinez in the books.
A yellow card has been issued in the 87th minute to Venezuela. Number 23, Jose Hernandez.
Hernandez going in. Hernandez, Chavez. Canada now. One last twist, perhaps. The head up from Saliba. Just drills it straight into Teo Quintero. Now Segovia picks it up. The counterattack is on for La Vinotinto. And they make something out of it. Something to put 2025 to bed in positive fashion, not on Richie Larea's watch. Brilliantly done. Ferocious ball winner is the Canada fullback. 2 minutes plus added on time. You'll like that result. Perhaps not so much the performance.
Yeah.
But a win is a win, as they say.
Performance not their best, but I think given the circumstances, this would be a win they'll like to take, Canada. And really, it is about now. There's a big break between this international window here in November and then the next.